This is my prime example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the narrative.
We are awaiting Mayor Henyard to arrive. We will give another 5 minutes.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard delayed the meeting with no explanation.
This story reads like a political drama you won't want to miss. Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and Thornton Township supervisor, stands at the center of a town in turmoil, facing accusations of financial mismanagement and using local government for personal gain. Despite the mounting pressure, Henyard refuses to back down. Her rise to power was chaotic, but her potential downfall is shaping up to be even messier. As the town teeters on the edge, Henyard's desperate fight to maintain control has turned Dalton and Thornton Township into a political battleground. Stay tuned for this wild ride.
We are your bosses. We are the citizens of Dalton, and you will not continue to treat us like this because you.
The latest chapter in this ongoing political saga revolves around a Democratic caucus that erupted into chaos. Tiffany Henyard, the current Thornton Township supervisor, was attempting to secure her place on the re-election ballot but faced a setback when her slate of candidates was incomplete due to the lack of a certified assessor. Enter Illinois State Senator and Democratic Committeeman Napoleon Harris, who stepped in with a full slate of candidates and secured the nomination. This marked the first time in 30 years that Thornton Township Democrats used a caucus instead of a primary, and the drama that unfolded did not disappoint. Henyard's reaction was one of outrage. She stormed out of the caucus, accusing Harris and his team of running an illegal process. Henyard didn't hold back, calling Harris a coward and threatening to sue everyone involved. "They can't beat me," she declared, insisting that the caucus was only held to block her from running. Her supporters echoed these claims, accusing Harris of voter suppression and rigging the process by allowing his backers into the venue first, leaving many of Henyard's supporters literally locked out. The political tension in Thornton Township is at an all-time high, and it's anyone's guess what will happen next.
Tonight, if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination.
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. We'll see people out here.
Tiffany Henyard's time as Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor has been marred by controversy. From lavish spending to questionable leadership decisions, her critics argue that chaos follows her wherever she goes, and they may have a point. Reports suggest that Henyard used township credit cards for personal expenses, including thousands spent on trips and luxury items. One particularly shocking revelation is that she allegedly spent over $40,000 on Amazon in a single day, a spending spree that most would not expect from a public official. These ongoing scandals have only intensified the political battles surrounding her.
Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the
If you thought Tiffany Henyard's financial mismanagement was limited to personal spending, think again. A report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, brought in as a special investigator, revealed that Dalton's general fund went from a surplus of over $5 million to a deficit of nearly $4 million in just 2 years. Lightfoot's findings also uncovered widespread misuse of village funds, including 2 police officers who earn more in overtime than their entire annual salaries, with one reportedly making over $100,000 in overtime alone. Meanwhile, Dalton residents with a median income of just $24,000 are left to bear the burden. But Henyard's leadership isn't only defined by financial chaos, it's also about consolidating power. One of her most controversial actions has been using the police as her personal security detail. Critics argue this reduces the number of officers available on the streets, making the town less safe. Former Dalton Police Chief Robert Collins, who was fired by Henyard, criticized the use of police for personal errands and appearances, calling it a waste of resources. To make matters worse, multiple local businesses have claimed they were targeted with police raids after refusing to donate to Henyard's civic events. One business owner even went to the FBI, accusing Henyard of harassment and retaliation.
Wow, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of the things started at the township, where the people were,
One of the most bizarre accusations against Tiffany Henyard involves her alleged targeting of the Dalton Park District, an entirely separate government entity. The Park District claims Henyard issued over $2,000 in citations for basic maintenance tasks, such as installing new playground equipment and spreading fresh mulch. Park District President Cleo Jones explained that these tasks are done annually to ensure children have a safe, clean environment to play in. "We don't play politics here," Jones said, stressing that the Park District should not be dragged into political conflicts. Even more concerning, the Park District has accused Henyard of blocking 2 grants totaling over $500,000, potentially costing taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Minutes. That's all it took for Tiffany Henyard to be out as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, and she left here visible.
This isn't the first time Tiffany Henyard has faced accusations of using resources as a weapon against her critics. Trustees allege that her administration has delayed permits, denied funding, and even shut down businesses owned by political opponents. One trustee described her leadership style as vindictive and controlling, stating, "She doesn't just seek power, she wants to crush anyone who questions her." This approach has left many residents feeling frustrated and powerless. A Park District executive voiced concern, saying, "What resident wants to look outside their house and see beat-up stuff? If we can upgrade these things and you're preventing it with a permit, the residents are suffering." Despite the mounting accusations, Henyard insists on her innocence, frequently shifting blame to others. In a recent public statement, she criticized the media and her detractors, saying, "All this pointing the finger at Tiffany or lying on me, I'm over it. Now it's time for me to speak. As I say, truth speaks." Henyard has also accused trustees and officials of sabotaging her efforts, claiming they are more focused on personal political ambitions than serving the community. Whether this reflects genuine frustration or an attempt to deflect blame, her refusal to take responsibility has only widened the gap between her administration and the community she was elected to serve.
Regular scheduled village hall meeting turned into political antics where the opponents for Mayor Tiffany Henyard say they're counting.
The situation in Thornton Township has hit a breaking point, marked by chaotic leadership and escalating tensions. Interim Police Chief Ronnie Barar was recently removed after a judge ruled him ineligible to serve, leaving the police department without leadership and raising public safety concerns. Simultaneously, trustees are at odds with Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, with some boycotting meetings to prevent her from appointing allies to key positions. This impasse has also delayed the approval of critical insurance coverage, prompting Henyard to warn of a potential government shutdown. The lack of quorum, caused by trustee absences, has stalled the process, further paralyzing the township. Trustee Chris Gonzalez defended the boycott, arguing it was necessary to block Henyard from appointing a new trustee who could grant her unchecked power. Amid these unresolved conflicts, Thornton Township remains in a leadership crisis, with no clear resolution in sight.
25, and clock is ticking.
Tiffany Henyard has fired back at trustees, accusing them of jeopardizing the community by leaving it uninsured. "We have no insurance right now," she warned, emphasizing risks to township vehicles, buildings, and residents. "How do we operate?" she asked, underscoring potential consequences if someone were injured. The ongoing standoff between Henyard and the trustees has left residents frustrated, caught in a gridlock where basic services are scarce. Despite mounting tension, Henyard remains defiant. "I am going to come through on a landslide, just like Trump did," she declared, drawing comparisons to the former president. "Like it or not, I'm your mayor." However, her confidence may be misplaced. Henyard faces an FBI investigation into alleged corruption, with federal agents reportedly seizing employment records, personnel files, and financial documents. Her allies are also under scrutiny. Former Deputy Police Chief Louis Lacey, a close supporter, was recently indicted for bankruptcy fraud. Lacey's lawyer claims the charges are part of a larger effort to build a case against Henyard. As tensions rise, Thornton Township's future hangs in the balance. Residents are fed up, trustees are divided, and the community's stability is at risk. On social media, some residents blame Henyard directly, with one commenter stating, "She's the reason why the town has no insurance." Another wrote, "She doesn't pay her own bills. Stop her and keep exposing her." Meanwhile, Henyard continues her legal battle over the contentious caucus. Her lawyer alleges irregularities, including last-minute rule changes and voter suppression. However, Senator Harris's team maintains the process was fair and legal, refusing to engage in political squabbles and focusing instead on community priorities. Election experts have raised concerns about the caucus rules requiring a full slate of candidates, suggesting they may conflict with federal law. This could provide Henyard an opportunity to challenge the results in court. For now, the township's fate remains uncertain as the conflict deepens.
People were getting let in at the proper time. We had a caucus, and the people voted for a slate of candidates to represent.
As this saga unfolds, one thing is certain: Tiffany Henyard is fiercely determined to retain power, no matter the cost. Whether through lawsuits against political opponents, rallying supporters, or clashing with trustees, she refuses to back down. However, the impact on Thornton Township is evident. The town's finances are in turmoil, its government is at a standstill, and residents are increasingly frustrated. The pressing question now is how far Henyard will go to maintain her grip on control and what will be left of the township once the dust settles. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for ongoing updates.